In this video, we're going to be comparing the Soundcore Space A40 versus the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. I'll also be including some microphone samples of both of these, so be sure to stick around to the very end. I'll also be leaving links to all the products down in the video description. So let's go ahead and jump straight in. So now, first, let's start with the connectivity. So for connectivity, they both offer a lot of the same types of features and specifications. So they're both going to bring you Bluetooth 5.2. You're both going to have support for SBC, AAC, and LDAC. They both offer single usage mode, and they both offer multi-point that's good for up to 2 devices. So that's what they bring that is basically exactly the same or very similar. Now, what's going to be the differentiating factor here between the Space A40 and the Liberty 3 Pro? The main differentiator here is the addition of a low latency gaming mode on the Space A40. Now, this was something that I had hoped we would have seen on the Liberty 3 Pro when they launched, but sadly it was missing. So if you're somebody who likes to do mobile gaming, or if you're experienced any sort of lag or latency when you're watching videos, then the Space A40 is definitely going to be the one out of these two that you're going to want to choose for connectivity. So just throwing that out there. But for connectivity, the win is going to go to the Soundcore Space A40, just giving them that little bit of an edge over the Liberty 3 Pro. So let's move on to the next section. And in the next section, we've got the battery life. Now, the battery life on these guys is substantially different, which is pretty wild considering how the Space A40 are, noticeably smaller earbuds than their companion right here. So, or stablemate, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, that's the biggest difference. But let's talk about the things that they do have in common first. So they both offer fast charging, where you can drop them into their case for a couple minutes and get a bunch of hours back. They both charge via USB Type-C. They both offer wireless charging as well. So overall, they're pretty even as far as those types of specifications go. But the main difference here is going to be in the actual playback time of the earbuds on a single charge. So that's where the main difference is. But let me see if I can bring this up here for you guys to see. So let's go ahead and see if I can drop that on the screen. So here are the battery test results for both of these earbuds at the same time. So as you can see here, with noise cancellation on, the A40 have nearly double the battery life of the Liberty 3 Pro, with both LDAC or AAC being used. And the same could be said also when the ANC is turned off. Now, all of my testing was done at 75% volume with mixed media. And by mixed media, I mean, different types of music, different types of video, stuff like that. So just something to keep in mind. But these battery numbers do speak for themselves, because that is a big difference. So when it comes to the cases themselves, so when we were talking about, the actual battery in the case here, they both offer 4 additional charges to the earbuds, with 32 hours in Liberty 3 Pro case and 40 hours in the case of the A40. But for battery life, that's kind of a pretty clear winner here. The Space A40 definitely dominate on the battery life department. So that's another win for the Soundcore Space A40. So now let's move forward here. So let's talk about comfort and stability with the Soundcore Space A40 and the Liberty 3 Pro. So let's go ahead and pull these back out of their cases here. And let's go ahead and do this. Let's take this to the close-up cam right here. So you can kind of see that hopefully it'll show. Geez, all right, there we go. So that's a very big difference. But actually, let's go back to the other one. Let's go top down. So maybe you'll be able to see it a little bit better. But that is a substantial difference in size of these earbuds. Like it's very different. So where the Liberty 3 Pro can kind of tend to sit outside of your ear, like a good section of it will just sit kind of outside, the Space A40 will actually sit all the way inside your ear, which is a substantial difference in the size and the way that they feel inside of your ears. Now, mind you, just to be clear, both of these fit my large ears very well. The Space A40 are substantially smaller though, so comfort is definitely improved. Now, one of the biggest complaints that I saw in my comment section around the Liberty Pro was the size, and that making them uncomfortable for a lot of people. Now, this won't be an issue unless you have the smallest of ears when it comes to the Space A40. So also grip, right? So, stability, how well they fit in your ears and how well they stay put. Grip is arguably better on Liberty 3 Pro with the use of the ear fins, but this is only going to apply if they fit your ears well. For everyone else, the Space A40 are going to be the better option. Now, seeing as how the A40 didn't cause me any issues with grip, overall the winner for comfort and grip are going to be the Space A40. So moving on. So now this next section, I'm just going to throw it in here really quick because normally I have this in my comparisons and that's where I would compare the app to each other. They're both using the same app. And you're getting essentially the same experience with both. The main difference is going to be where the Liberty 3 Pro have Hear ID for noise cancellation. The Space A40s don't. But overall, the experience is pretty much the same. So I'm going to give them kind of a wash for the app support. So not really going to get into that one there. But let's move forward. Let's get into some of the performance here. So let's talk transparency mode. So with the transparency mode, let's go ahead and pop these guys back in there. All right, there we go. All right, so with transparency mode, the win here is going to go to the Space A40 once again for having a more natural sounding transparency mode. Now the Liberty 3 Pro have a good transparency mode too, don't get me wrong, but it sounds a bit like slightly more processed than the A40. Now there was definitely some tweaking done with the audio processing here on the Space A40 on their transparency mode. And this gives me high hopes for further improvements via firmware updates or on upcoming Soundcore models. Now that cleaner audio gives the A40 the win for transparency here, but like I said, this is very close indeed. So yeah, just throwing that out there. But for me, transparency mode, definitely going to the A40. So let's move over to active noise cancellation. So with an active noise cancellation testing, I use 85 decibels worth of airliner cabin noise and 75 decibels worth of crowd noise for this test. Now, I tested both of these using SpinFit ear tips to ensure fairness. So that's one of the things I always like to do. For people who've been longtime viewers of the channel, I do like to use SpinFit ear tips. So I've got 1025s here on the Space A40, and I've got some CP100s on the Liberty 3 Pro right here. So both of those right there, just to make sure that we're ensuring fairness. Now, mind you, when I did the test, I actually put the 1025s on here as well, just to be on the safe side. But that's kind of how we rolled with it. Now, for noise cancellation, the Liberty 3 Pro barely beat the Space A40 for ANC strength. Both performed very well in the airliner cabin noise test, but the Liberty 3 Pros, they pulled ahead in the crowd noise test. They actually did a better job at tamping down some of the human voices in that testing. So that's where the Liberty 3 Pros kind of pulled ahead in the performance department. So win for ANC for the Liberty 3 Pro. Now moving over to volume. Now, when it comes to volume, the winner here is going to be the Space A40. The A40s come with 113.6 decibels in my testing, where the Liberty 3 Pro get 111 decibels in my testing. Now, anything over 100 decibels is going to be really loud. So, but you know, the numbers, you know what I mean? It's kind of a win just based on the measurements alone. But yeah, you know, numbers don't lie. So another win for the A40 when it comes to volume. So that's going to bring us over to the sound quality. And this is the main differentiator between the Liberty 3 Pro and the Space A40, sound quality. Now, this is mostly due in part to the Liberty 3 Pro using the ACAA hybrid dual driver setup. You know, so they have dual drivers in each ear, so you're getting that maximum sound quality performance. Now, this hardware advantage gives the Liberty 3 Pro the ability to have bass that hits harder and treble that sparkles a bit brighter than what you can get out of the Space A40. Now, to be clear, I did use the Hear ID and acoustic presets on both of these to find the sweet spot in the sound. And in both cases, the Liberty 3 Pro had the better sound quality out of these two. As I said before, deeper bass response and brighter treble. The Liberty 3 Pro also offer a wider soundstage and improved stereo separation. Now, please don't get me wrong with what I'm saying here. Like, I don't want anybody getting misconstrued about this. The Space A40s are still excellent. The fact that they can even get as close and still compete with the Liberty 3 Pro despite having that hardware disadvantage speaks volumes to how good they are. So just wanted to make sure that that's very clear for anybody who's gone out and bought them already. But a win is a win, and the Liberty 3 Pro take the win for sound quality between the two of these. So just making sure that we're clear as far as that goes. So now let's go ahead and jump into some microphone quality samples. And this way you can hear what they both sound like back to back and decide which one is going to work better for you. And here we have the microphone test for the Soundcore Space A40. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously I'm indoors in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone test for the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Once again, I'm indoors in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Soundcore Space A40 in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a busy bar, a crowded restaurant, or something along those lines. So, testing, 1, 2, 3. Oh, whoops. I totally cut that off. I thought it was done already. Oh, no. We're going to do a redo. All right, let's do a redo one more time. Sorry about that. And here we have the microphone test for the Soundcore Space A40. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Obviously, I'm indoors in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, so here we have the microphone test for the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Once again, I'm indoors in a semi-quiet room. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Soundcore Space A40 in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a busy bar, a crowded restaurant, or something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. And here we have the Soundcore Liberty 3 Pro in a simulated crowd noise environment. So something like a busy bar, a crowded restaurant, or something along those lines. So testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, there we go. Now we got them out of the way. So, all right. So for the call quality samples, normally I let you guys be the judge. In this video, I'm going to go ahead and be the judge here. For me, the Liberty 3 Pro have a superior call quality in both scenarios. My voice sounds more full, more natural, and has a bit of added weight in the base of my voice. Now, that's not to say that the mics on the Space A40 are bad. It's far from that. But the difference is noticeable. So the Liberty 3 Pro take the win here, in my personal opinion. So let's do this real quick. So let me show you kind of where we're at on this one here. So let's go right there. So final score, let's throw that up here. So on final score, the A40 got 5 points, and got their 5 points from the connection, the battery, the comfort, the transparency mode, and the volume. Liberty 3 Pro got 3 points with noise cancellation, sound quality, which is a big one, and the microphone quality. So just throwing that out there. But that's kind of where they came down as far as the kind of final verdict goes. So we'll talk about that a little bit more. Now, allow me to give you kind of my own final verdict in my words. While the Liberty 3 Pro give you noticeably superior sound quality, the overall winner here for performance and value for your dollar are the Soundcore Space A40. They are a superior earbud in a few key ways that overcome the issues that many people complain about with the Liberty 3 Pro, mainly with both comfort and battery life. So if you're in that group of people who experience those problems with the Liberty 3 Pro, then the Space A40 are going to be the better option for you at this time. Now, if that's not you, then the Liberty 3 Pro are easily still one of the best earbuds that you can buy for under $200. Now, if you're interested in seeing my full reviews on both of these earbuds, check out the videos that I'm gonna leave for you right up here on the screen. With that said, my name is Jefe, and I'm out this bitch.